testing, no more practice. This is the real deal. And it's make or break here at round one of this year's Formula One World Championship. Mastering a lap at Paul Ricard means getting to know 15 corners. 6 go to the left and 9 go to the right, for an overall lap distance of 3.6 miles. The two halves of the long Mistral Straight are separated by a heavy braking zone into a potential overtaking hotspot at the chicane. And watch out for drivers running into the distinctive coloured stripes, which are low in grip and highly abrasive. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. A fantastic effort from Pierre Gasly yesterday puts him on pole position. And starting next to them is George Russell. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Yuri Vips and Albon, Vesti, Drugovich, Mick Schumacher and Jack Doohan, Ocon, Vettel, Yuki Tsunoda, Red, Bottas, Armstrong, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, Iwasa and Dennis Hauger. That's it then. It's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Natalie Pinkham is with me today as we get another year of Formula One underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice. They've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
Okay, clear. The safety car's out. We need you to reduce your pace. It looks like there's a stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. Okay, the incident's been cleared. Let's get back up to racing speed. Come on. car ahead. Well done, but be aware these times. Our gap to the car in front is 3.2 seconds. That's Gasly ahead. Okay, gap to the car ahead is 3.2. Track is clear, green flag. Battery charge is high, let's use that overtake button a bit more. 5 minutes until rainfall expected, 5 minutes until rain. Nice work, mate. You did really well today. I think the boss is going to be happy with that one.
Another superb French Grand Prix comes to an end then, and it's a thoroughly deserved victory. So, Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race for the McLaren team, and I'm very happy to see them there on the top step of the podium. So let's have a quick look at how the drivers' standings have changed. George Russell takes the lead in the Drivers' Championship after today's superb result. Let's focus on Driver of the Day, Natalie Pinkham. Come on, who do you pick?
I have to give it to Red. They did a great job at getting the very most out of the tyres without losing pace, something that's a very handy skill to have in modern Formula One.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. McLaren supplant the previous leaders, taking control of the championship. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One. Welcome to Budapest once again for another round of Formula One action. Historically, a good race for first victories, with Button, Hill, Alonso and Heikki Kovalainen all reaching the top step of the podium for the first time here. We're northeast of Budapest for the race today then at the 2.7-mile Hungarian circuit. 14 corners here, 8 to the right and 6 to the left on a track where downforce is king and passing is notoriously difficult. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. A fantastic effort from Pierre Gasly yesterday puts him on pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. Considering the rest of the grid we have Leclerc, Albon, Felipe Drugovich, Vesti, Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, Mick Schumacher and Yuri Vips, Armstrong, Doohan, Esteban Ocon and Norris, Iwata, Tsunoda, Red and Valtteri Bottas. Hauger and Sebastian Vettel starts from the back of the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. A warm welcome to Natalie Pinkham, who is beside me in the commentary box today. Let's talk about Mercedes. We have a number of changes to the aerodynamic regulations this year, and the signs haven't looked good for them so far in terms of getting to grips with those changes.
It doesn't look promising for them so far. And if the new regs have hit them as hard as we think, well, I suspect they may need a few late nights at the factory to get back on track.
Job, nice overtake. The car ahead's coming to fit the mediums. Car ahead now running medium tyres. We're delighted with that. after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. Are you all right? Engine off, engine off.
It's victory in Budapest then, and what a victory it is after an incredible Grand Prix. So, Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we could talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those that we've witnessed today.
As the winners make their way up to the podium, one can only imagine the celebrations that will take place at McLaren tonight. Congratulations to everyone on the team, securing the win and proving they're a force to be reckoned with out on the track. So let's review the drivers' standings. That's a positive result for George Russell, who further solidifies his position at the top of the standings. So then, Natalie Pinkham, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Marcus Armstrong gets my vote today.
Let's move on to the constructors. McLaren continue to increase their gap at the top. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend for them as they fight their way towards the top. Been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
We had a major issue on the production line earlier this week, so the entire development package...
Welcome along then to the magnificent Suzuka International Circuit, a stone's throw away from Issei Bay in the beautiful Japanese countryside. What surprises lie in wait for us today in the Japanese Grand Prix? We're southwest of the city of Nagoya today at the unique figure-of-8 Suzuka Circuit. 3.6 miles and 18 corners make up a lap here, with average speeds approaching 136 miles per hour. DRS will be available, of course, into the potential passing opportunity at turn 1, although the best place for overtaking will be through the 130R and into the final chicane. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position. And it's Pierre Gasly in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Albon, Doohan, Fernando Alonso and Leclerc, Mick Schumacher, Ocon, Vesti and Ayumu Iwasa, Oscar Piastri, Vettel, Yuki Tsunoda, Red, Yuri Vips, Hauger, Felipe Drugovich and Valtteri Bottas. Armstrong and Lando Norris starts from the back of the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
job, nice overtake. Albon is stopping now. Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
They've done it then. Here at Suzuka, a brilliant win on the beloved figure-of-8 circuit. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Rain always has the potential to liven up a race and mix up the order, and they've taken full advantage of that to claim the victory today. It's always a bit of a lottery when the conditions are like this, but they've managed to stay on circuit and have come out on top.
Our drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations, and it's going to be McLaren picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance. So let's have a look then at the drivers' standings. That's a positive result for George Russell, who further solidifies his position at the top of the standings. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I think for driver of the day, I'd probably pick Lando Norris. He lived up to every inch of his reputation today, and I think he'll be going home, quite rightly, a bit proud of himself.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. McLaren continue to increase their gap at the top. Meanwhile, Alpine move up the table with another strong performance this weekend. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who's joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.